Hello, hello, hello. I have my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful opal. It is it is a rock that has opal inside, and when you see the light shining against it, there's some glittering going on in there, and that's the opal, and it is absolutely amazing, amazing, amazing. It also has petrified wood chips inside. Very, very good. This rod is millions and millions of years old, and it smells good, and it's just unbelievably amazing. It has natural plant oils embedded in it. It has a slight amber smell. It's absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I absolutely love it. I found this in Virgin Valley, Nevada, when we went on our recent trip. Beautiful, beautiful piece. I absolutely love it. I have it next to my bed. And I also have, oh, this is a real heavy one. I have this one here. This is huge. This is a huge, huge, heavy, heavy rock. This weighs, I would say, 15 pounds, maybe. I don't know. Real, real heavy. Oh my goodness. I love it, absolutely love it, love it, love it. I touch it every day. It's really, really great for crystal healing. Fantastic. And I'm sure that this is an agate, I think. So there's agate, there's translucent agate inside, I'm sure, it was in different colors, particularly orange. But I'm never gonna cut this open. I am not for cutting rocks open. I'm for leaving them whole, because gorgeous rock. Absolutely love it. Love it. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So I'm just gonna do a soothing video with this rock here. And I also want to talk about Leonard Stecyk. I, I love that subject so much. It is absolutely intriguing. I have all these thoughts about it, and then I decide, oh, I need to talk about this. Oh, I need to talk about this. And I take mental notes for the video, and then usually by the time I make the video, I already forgot most of those mental notes. But that's why I make part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the list goes on. Maybe I'll make a 10-part video series for Leonard Stecyk. He deserves it. If that was a real character, if that's not just a fictional character, an invention, a fairy tale, but I think it is a real story. As he said in a later chapter, that's called the foreword. He said these are real stories, and I believe him. He just has to wrap it up into it. And then he gave some false data about himself, because just in order to protect himself from being sued by any of these people that decide they need to make an extra buck, and now they will start a fraudulent lawsuit against him or something. There are people out there all the time that do this. It's like, oh, this is a lawsuit. Let me get a lawyer. Let me get a contingency lawyer. And so that's how people make money for themselves. Some of them. Well, that's not my type of lifestyle. I mean, I'm for defending ourselves, but not for frivolous lawsuits that are just taking up time and money and resources and and nerves. So yeah, so he had to protect himself. He had to put this into just another chapter, right? But it's still true. So, but he couldn't directly say it's true because then people sue, which is really, and this was a brilliant way of escaping this type of thing, the slander laws, copyright laws, and what all the stuff that they have out there that are frivolous by themselves already. You're not supposed to say even, you're not even supposed to call your soy milk milk. That's not even legal anymore. Yeah, no, you're copying the word milk from the dairy industry. Well, that's a way of the dairy industry with legal means, with crooked lawyers, to undermine animal rights. That's what it was all about. But that's what's going on all the time, on all levels, That's what people are doing. That's what corporations are doing. That's what the lawyers that work for them are doing. And so this is not, this created just a total chaos in the U.S. legal system, and loopholes over loopholes over loopholes, and clauses and side laws and backwards laws, and very few forward laws. So that's what's going on, and it's very sad. So, but I think Leonard Stecyk is a real story. That person existed, and David Foster Wallace, he exaggerated a lot of things, or maybe not even exaggerated it, but he pointed out the already existing exaggerations in it. Just he just didn't leave out any of these absurdities in human behavior, which most people leave out. They leave it out because out of politeness. They leave it out because they want to be accepted by society. They leave it out because they're embarrassed about it, because maybe some of them hit home with them. So, and so very few writers actually get into the details of things, into the total details, into the mundane, everyday banalities, or that what people would feel as banalities. Not all banalities are actually banalities. So some people will call diatomaceous earth dirt. To them that's a banality, while in fact diatomaceous earth, which is one of the many different mineral layers on this planet, diatomaceous earth is such a precious substance that it saves lives. It makes your hair grow thick and healthy and dense, and I think it can bring hair back to Jeff Bezos. I'm convinced of that. He should try that out. So, or any of the other people that have very thinned out hair, and where the hair fell out on most of the scalp. So, but I think that can bring hair back. It strengthens the fingernails. It strengthens body tissues, the entire body, the endocrinology, the nervous system. It strengthens. It's an anti-parasitic. It's an unbelievable stuff. It's a pest control that is safe, 100% safe. So yeah, so right there, I use this as an example, as I'm also sharing this precious information. This is one of the many examples. For one person, one thing is dirt, and to the other person, like myself, that is like this is more valuable than gold. So for someone, for most people, this rock was just a rock on the road. For me, it's the blue god in dog form, made by nature. I had to pick it up. I had to take it with me, even though our van was already overloaded. I had to pick up 3 rocks and brought them with me. So what is it about Leonard Stecyk that people that or anywhere on this planet where someone is like that, they are giving and kind and always accommodating everyone? What is it about a person like this, whether it is a little boy or a little girl, man or woman? What is it about that person that edges on? Why would someone like this edge on? Is the question here. Why would someone who is always kind and giving and generous be causing people emotional pain? Why would that cause so much pain that people would take aspirin? That's what David Foster Wallace said in his book. They had to take aspirin. The people who were not bullies, that weren't lashing out at him, most of those felt bad too. So most of those took aspirin. That was their way of dealing with. Why would they take aspirin? Why would they feel so bad that they have to take aspirin? Is my question. I'm asking that question to the whole world. Why do so many people, maybe the majority, why do they have to take aspirin when they're around someone who is cheerful, kind, happy, generous, giving, altruistic, caring, deeply caring? Why do they have to take aspirin? Why do they have to take Prozac or any of these other neurotransmitters or painkillers or Vicodin or whatever they take, or other drugs or psychoactive, as I talked about yesterday? Why do most people take psychoactive drugs for the completely wrong reasons? They take it like pain medicine. They take it as just as a lot of people take a roller coaster ride as a sort of, if you want to call it, holistic pain medicine. A roller coaster ride. It's not very holistic though. It's a waste of energy and resources. Causes accidents, freak accidents, causes environmental pollution, and the list goes on. So why do people have to reach for a means, or gambling or drinking, whatever they do, to as a form of pain medicine, emotional pain medicine? Escape mechanism is an emotional pain mechanism. Any of these things, emotional act outs, psychological act outs, are escape mechanisms. They're emotional pain-killing modalities. Why do people have to react like this? Why do they feel bad when they see someone kind and happy and giving? Is it jealousy, is my question. So tell me what it is. Please tell me what it is. If you know, let me know. I want to know. I'm a hobby psychologist. I'm deeply interested in this. I'm deeply interested in what's going on inside of people. Don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed about this. If people are embarrassed, if they're suppressing these things out of embarrassment, shame, then it just becomes more and more unconscious, and it will press more and more and more. It's better to talk about it. It really is. It frees you. It really frees you. People who flee into religion, they have a ton of shame that they're covering up inside with that. And they make a slave out of themselves. Free yourselves. Talk about this stuff. Bring this festering wound. Bring this to healthy oxygen air. Clean that wound with healing water and oxygen. And clean it with herbs. Clean it out with truth and love. That is my suggestion for people to do. Because underneath there is something very heavy going on. For someone to have to take aspirin when they're around a little boy like that, Leonard Stecyk, there's something really festering underneath. Why a little boy with his generosity would elicit in people such a reaction, such negative feelings. What kind of negative feelings are coming up? I'm not judging. I just want to know. Free yourselves. Bring it up. Bring it to the surface. That's my invitation to the world. Don't be ashamed. Don't lash out at other people because you want to cover up your own shame. Don't do that anymore. It's time now to uncover all of this. The time has come, and I think people are ready. I think they are. They can't take it anymore. People are committing suicide. They can't take this anymore. The suffering. The religion hasn't helped them. It hasn't rescued them. It hasn't saved them. It saved their egos, but that doesn't last for very long. So I gotta turn the heater down. It's getting really hot in here. I like it. I love it. Absolutely love it. This is so wonderful and cozy, and we need to make it nice. We need to make it cozy and wonderful. We need to find these amazing solutions. And even in the summertime, it gets so hot upstairs that I'm better off here in this room. So for that reason, that's just a better solution. That is great. Very, very good. I love the upstairs, so I love it. There's so much light coming in. It's a nice, wonderful room, but I can't even do my artwork or do sewing because it's just too cold, and the heater I have to have it on full blast, and it has to be going all day long to even heat it up just a little bit, and it's not worth it. So I stay in this room here now. I got my recliner chair now in the corner, and it's so much better. Really love it. And Papa Dog, he liked it too. He came on my bed today and he looked out the window into the forest. He loves the forest, and I love to have forest right in front of my window, all the way around the house. Tall cedar trees. I love it. And they smell so good, and they wave at us in my video when I make video upstairs, so they wave from the far through the windows. I love the way they whip. So great. We can make the world a better place, we really can. There are so many great solutions out there. I was researching geodesic domes, and I really admire Jeff Bezos and his many great ideas, and he's a genius, for sure. I'm sure his IQ is at least 500, I would say, if not more. So, way off the charts, and an amazing guy. And And I love those sphere domes that he built out there in Seattle, had architects build. It must have been so amazing for those architects to build those. And they brought in plants that are at the brink of extinction. They brought them back to healthy situation in that dome. And I talked to Paul earlier about this also, about the extinction rate. People are shooting animals all over the planet. And it's so bad that they predicted that in just a couple of years, some of those really, really amazing species will no longer be there. Like the rhinoceroses. Those are really prehistoric looking, amazing animals. They look like dinosaurs. They are so amazing. And they're being shot all the time by hunters. By hunters from all around the world that go there. How horrific. And then there's this really bad Chinese herbal, they call it herbal, but it's not herbal, the Chinese herbal market, that they should not call themselves herbal market, because if they would stick to herbs, they'll be okay, then nobody would say anything. But they are the ones that are paying very high amounts for such things as deer antler powder, rhino horn, and elephant tusk, and the list goes on. And it is extremely unethical what's happening. So it is very clear, it's become very clear now, that whoever is rescuing orphaned animal babies, when they put them back into the wild, wherever that is on this planet, chances are like 99+% that those animal babies, once they're a juvenile or adult, being put back into the wild, that they're going to be shot or injured by people, or run over, or trapped. Horrible, that's even worse. So there's no more nature in that sense, that there's no more natural places where the animals feel really safe and where they are safe, because of poaching, hunting, exploiting. So that's why what we need to have is, we need to have the robots, first of all. And in the meantime, we need to create forested sanctuaries for the animals that are guarded. It's very sad that in some countries the people who are hired as guards will take bribe money from the poachers. Very, very sad. This is very sad. It's very sad. And that's why I say we need the robots. We need robot guards, because they don't take bribe money. The robots, they will shoot someone down who says, "Here, I'll give you bribe money if you let me into that sanctuary." They'll shoot him down. And that's unfortunately what's gonna have to happen. We're gonna have to have robots that will guard the animals in the wild. And if we don't get that, the species are going to become extinct. and will have a huge effect on the entire ecosystem. So entire ecosystems are already collapsing. There's already terrible imbalances that are happening worldwide, but most people don't want to hear about it because they want to continue their lifestyle. They want to continue the exploitation. They want to continue to listen to their religions, and the religions, they are used by the corporations. So that's how they get into people's heads, through the religions. And the religions themselves keep people very, very ignorant. So people need to know this. That's what religion has always been used for, to keep people ignorant, to sway people on us into a specific direction, to support a specific dictator and so on. That's what it's always for. It was made to oppress, not to liberate, not to save, as they call it. It's exactly reversed. No one is saved. Only egos and corporations and dictators are saved. In a very bad way. The public, the individuals, the animals, the earth is not saved by that. It's very sad. It's very true. This is the truth. This is what's happening. I wish it wasn't like that, but it is. And that's why I feel compelled to make videos about it, to let people know what is happening, what's going on. And I gotta remember, after I make this video, I'm gonna initiate part 3 of my personhood rights for animals petition series. So I already have 2 parts. The second part has also now expired, so the petition is closed. It's on Care2. I don't know how long they leave it up. I guess they leave it up for like 4 or 5 months, and then they close it. And I only got like 76 signatures or something on the last one too. But it doesn't matter. It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter if I get no signature, or just have myself and my husband, Ernest. It wouldn't matter. I will still do it, and I will still circulate it as much as I can without having anyone help me with advertising it. So I will still mention it here and there, and even if I mention it under some videos, I get shit from people that will say you're not supposed to advertise your own stuff. And this is not my own stuff. This is for the animals. This is all animals on this planet that are backing me up with this. So all the other species that are, and there are way more persons, animal persons, than human persons. You know, if you count all the rats and mice and frogs and all of them, there's a lot of humans, but yeah, there's still more of all these other ones, so that are, and they're the majority, and they should have the right to speak out, you know, to voice their opinion on it. So no, it's not for me. It's not my own personal aggrandization or personal gratification purposes or something, personal advertisement or something. No, this is for the animals. Okay. All animals. All animals on this planet. Okay. So they're all my constituents. They're all of them are my clients, and I'm speaking out for them. I am the vessel for them to speak out. I am their messenger. And that is my petition. I'm going to make part 3, personhood rights for animals, today on Care 2, and I will put the link under the video, and I hope you guys sign this petition. It's important. I think it's a historic petition, even if no one ever signs this. It's still a historic petition. Let's be all part of this movement. There's a handful of people that are making a bit of a progress. Okay, it started all the way out there on the east coast, on the northern part towards Canada, that area there. The people there seem to be very advanced, and so in some of those states there, and then some of the people also moved to South America, and they got an initiative started there as well, and they made progress. They talked to politicians, and they made some progress. And I'm always happy to see that another governor is on the side of the animals, like the new governor of California, and some other states are becoming much more animal friendly and greener. And it's very wonderful for me to see this, so I'm very grateful. I'm grateful for every caring person, and for every caring, kind person who puts her or his expertise to work, and who puts their knowledge, their wit, their intelligence, and their hard work into bringing personhood rights for animals forward and bringing it into our lives and making it happen. So I'm very, very infinitely grateful for them. So this needs to happen. We have to keep working on this. It's very important. That's the meaning of life, is to move things forward, to make things better, to create a paradise, like Jeff Bezos creating that little paradise in the spheres domes. It's a paradise, saving some species from becoming extinct. Some plant species. He has some amazing plants in there, some amazing flowers. So gorgeous. Beautiful. And that's the future. That the future is definitely dome structures. They could be tubular, they could be round, they could be geodesic. They could be partly covered. They could be, like the Earthship houses from Michael Reynolds, or the Zaha Hadid structures, or the Richard Meier half dome structure, like at the Getty Center in LA. When I went there, that's what fascinated me the most, is the real heavy duty steel frame glass structures. Like there were like over half of the one structure, and then on the side there, and it looks so good. And even over that railroad that brings people to the parking lot and back. Very futuristic, very lovely, very wonderful. It's absolutely stunning. It's a masterpiece. That Getty Center by Richard Meier. Fantastic. So I also like Frank Gehry very much. So, but Zaha Hadid is my absolute number one. And she died in 2013, I think it was, or 2015. I'm very sad about that. She was not very old. She was like, I don't know, 60 or something. Zaha Hadid, originally from Iran, lived in England, was not religious, and she was and still is the world's greatest architect in history, by far. And I say this even though my dad is an architect and he has a signature style, and it's very pretty, it's very beautiful. But Zaha Hadid is towering over all of them. She really is. And she made structures, she made bridges, she made enclosed bridges, and they are so futuristic. Her work is absolutely futuristic. And it's all dome type of structures. They're just amazing. Industrial steel, painted white, glass frames with bulletproof glass. And I think with some of them they have a double layer. You can make a triple layer with a vacuum insulation in between and make it really, really, really insulated. This will have an amazing insulation power, you know, when you have that as a huge dome covering an acre or something, covering trees, everything. You can grow anything in that. You can really create a paradise in that. And so the solutions are all out there, you know. Then we need solar panels. We need to be completely independent. It is the corporations that want to stop that because they're making money on the people using the infrastructure, so using their electricity. So they will penalize people who get off the grid even. They should reward them, but they penalize them. And Warren Buffett is involved in all of that corporatism. How horribly sad. Makes me very sad. If we want to make the world a better place, we have to forget about greed. We have to forget about profit maximization. Or this very closed-minded. Yeah. Very unvisionary way of moving things along. That's what most people do. You know, that's what most managers and CEOs are doing. They're not thinking about the future of things. They're only thinking about profit maximization. Even if it eventually cuts them out as well, cuts their own food and water supply. They're only thinking about right now. That's not just non-visionary, that's unethical. It's criminal. Because we have a responsibility, particularly people who have managed their way up into a high leverage position, whether that's politically or through corporate business. They have very high responsibility, not just to keep the customers happy, but to also keep all the other species happy and healthy and alive, including the plants and including our forests and the oceans. We have a responsibility for this, okay? So we have a responsibility to to serve our mother, this planet, Mother Earth, who gave life to us. So we have to give back to her. We cannot just take. Okay. We need to come back to our senses. And that's what people have lost along the way. Because of ego, because of self-image proliferation and so on. So they put their self-images before anything else. They even put their self-images, which is pride, which is fear of rejection. They put that even above their own bodies. That's how far it goes. There are people that commit suicide. It's almost a collective custom in some countries. I heard that Japan has very high rate of those type of pride-based suicides. I mean, this is extremely neurotic. This is extremely mentally ill. To put the self-image and the ego even above their own bodies. We need to come back to our senses. We really need to come back to ground zero. Forget about all of this prestige and corporatism and the greed and the marketing. The frenzy of this. Frenzy of this marketing game, marketing gambling, as I would call it. Any kind of gambling. It's horrible. When people say, oh, I need to, like, let me use this example. When people go somewhere and they say, oh, I need to wear chador to make my customers happy. This is not making the world a better place. Or if they say, I need to wear a suit, or that's I can still accept that, but not a suit that's made out of animal stuff, where animals were exploited. See, when people start to make excuses and say they need to do this or that to make their customers happy, or they can't say anything because then they need to be fair to their customers. No, they're just being fair to their profit maximization. Okay, that's what they're doing. My husband and I, we were shut up once, real hefty, on a hike with a local stewardship group for ecological help, environmental. They call themselves environmentalists. They're not. Not at all. It was for grant writing and donations. That's what they were living for. So we were talking to an older couple that seemed to be constituents that have been donating. They had some money, and they were not on the side of ecology that much. I don't even know why they even donated money there, or why I guess they liked going hiking with these people. So, and we weren't angry, we weren't argumentative, we just gave them some facts. And this one lady there shut us up. And I think that was the last time I went on those hikes with them. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I mean, it can't be more ironic than that even. When you're already having an environmental organization that shuts up their own volunteers. And we were volunteers. We were helping them for free for 8 months. And we got them a $50,000 grant. It was because of our work. Then they got a match grant from the government because the one lady was a grant writer. She studied that. I go to school to study grant writing. It's like, wow. That's like, that's the goal, the grants. It's like, hello, we're working for the environment here. And then when someone corrects someone and gives some facts on environmentalism and what's at stake and what needs to be done, we are being shut off by a person who calls herself an environmentalist, but in reality is just a grant writer and is doing this for profits. So it's those kind of things, that I see all the time. Even among some of the outwardly with a do-gooder facade. See, even among those, there are a lot of fraudsters. That's why it is so important to really do one's research before you donate your tax money to any of these causes, any of these groups. I know that Sea Shepherd Conservation Society is fantastic. They do a lot of work. They have done more work for the ocean animals than anyone else in the world. They have saved thousands of whales from being slaughtered. Thousands. I think they saved more than 100,000 whales. Then they were unanimously, by all those corrupt countries, they were casted out of the whale sanctuary. The whale rescuers were cast out of the whale sanctuary, the Arctic Circle, the Antarctic Circle. And they allowed the whale hunters in. That's corruption on a massive scale. They ganged up on Paul Watson. They almost got him extradited to Costa Rica, to Japan, where they would have killed him. Thank goodness we had some good people in the German government, and some good influential people that saved Paul Watson. Thank goodness. I'm very infinitely grateful for them. Thank goodness. I helped. I wrote a letter to my friend Annalise, and I'm not going to say any names now, because all the do-gooders have their enemies. Because most people are corrupt. That's what's going on in the world. It seems like most people are corrupt. Most people have their price. As J.D. Rockefeller said, every man has his price. Some people kill for $1, and some people kill for $10 million. So it's still the same principle. Some people betray someone if they just get enough money under the table shoved at them. So that's corruption. That's criminal behavior. That's immorality. It's unethical behavior. It made me so incredibly sad. That was during the summer 2012 when that was going on. I was shivering for Paul Watson. He was detained in Germany because someone snitched at him. The Costa Rican shark hunters caused them trouble. He saved a lot of sharks too. So, and they just made up a story. They just framed him for something. Complete slander. But the German government, those people, they incarcerated him because they took the bribe money. And I think that they took bribe money from Japan. And the reason why the Japanese had so much bribe money now is because they got donations from around the whole planet for that Fukushima disaster. That was the money that was supposed to go to the Fukushima victims. And the Fukushima victims never got to see the money, the donation money. Instead, the Japanese used that money to bribe themselves around the planet to get rid of Paul Watson. They wanted to get him. They wanted to headhunt him because they saw him as, of course, no, they saw him as a danger to their whaling industry. So, but Paul Watson said, it doesn't matter if you capture me or not. Our organization will go on, will move on. And they can move on without me because we're all independent thinkers. He's not some guru. Okay. He's the founder of Greenpeace and the founder of Sea Shepherd Conservation Society. When he was in Greenpeace in the beginning, the early 70s, I think is when they started this, there was one man in there that he calls the Judas of the environmental movement. That guy is now the CEO or whatever they call it of Greenpeace. That is the guy that said you can drink Roundup. And then someone said, here's some Roundup, you can drink it. And he refused to. So that is the guy that has not only turned against the environmentalists, not just a Judas in that way. I think he was an infiltrator from day one into Greenpeace. He got Paul Watson, who is the founder of Greenpeace, kicked out of his own organization. And he turned, so the Roundup promoter turned Greenpeace, kicked Paul Watson out and turned Greenpeace into a pro-hunting and even pro-seal hunting group. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's so unbelievable that I wouldn't be surprised if people didn't believe it, but it's true. It's incredible. So, no, I'm still making video. So, but I'm already at 53:39 and I'm gonna wrap up the video now. So I discussed a couple of things which is important. I don't know if any of you listen to these long videos, but all of this is very important. You can listen to it while you're doing something that doesn't require much focus, like something like knitting or sewing or painting. You can listen, or you can just relax and listen to it while you're meditating or something like this. So, okay. I wish you a good night. Sleep well. Take care.